Today we'll be doing 3 6-multiply matrices. Dimensions of a matrix are given as rows left to right by columns which are up and down. Another way you can write it down is like this to help remember it. Rows, columns. So rows go across, columns are up and down. You have 2 rows by 3 columns. This is row 1, row 2, column 1, column 2, column 3, which is written as a 2 by 3. So x is the word by, 2 by 3. To multiply matrices, the columns of the first matrix must be equal to the rows of the second matrix. So what we do is we like to put them in order. Matrix A, matrix B, or first and second, and the middle numbers have to match. When they match, the outside numbers become your size of your new answer. So matching, I can multiply these, a 2 by 3 times a 3 by 2. A 2 by 3 times a 2 by 3, the middle numbers do not match, so the columns here do not match the rows, so they do not match. Like I said, the outside numbers will tell you the dimensions of your matrix, answer matrix, so the answer will be a 2 by 2. So just looking at these, what answers, if any, can you find, and what will the measurements of the matrices, or the answer matrix dimensions be? These match, so my answer is a 5 by 3. These don't match, not possible. These do match, so this is a 2 by 3. These match, so my answer is a 3 by 3. And the reasons why we have to look at the rows and the columns is we're going to take the first row times the column of the second matrix. So that's why we get our new answers to be the dimensions that they are. So, looking at the dimensions, it's nice to write out your dimensions before you actually multiply them. So when we do that, we like to look at the dimensions and see if we can do it. So writing it out, you can do it in your head. 2 by 2, so these match, so I can do it. The answer is going to be a 2 by 2. So when we multiply these, we're going to write this out as a multiplication. It's going to equal an answer that's a matrix of 2 by 2. When you multiply, like I said, this is your rows, and these are your columns. So you're going to take row 1 times column 2. Sorry, row 1 times column 1. That will get you your first answer. And then you're going to do row 1 times column 2, and that'll get you your second answer. When you work this out, you add each product together. Okay, so looking through this, the top row times the left column goes in the top left blank. You add the two values together, so 1 times 3 plus 2 times negative 2. So kind of what you're doing is you're taking these values here and you're relining them up right next to this number. So it's going to be 1 and 2. And you're going to do the same thing, 1 and 2, and that's going to get you this number here. So this product, as you go through each one, so that's top left blank, then you do the top row times the right column, so the second column, 1 times 1 plus 2 times 2, so 1 times 1, 2 times 2, add those together, you get 5. The bottom row times left column goes in the bottom left, so row 2 would be answer row 2, column 1, which means it's going to be in column 1. So row 2 times column 1 gets you the answer in row 2, column 1. Row 2 times column 2, when you simplify that, you get 5, Bottom row, row 2 times right column or second column gets you this value, which gets you this answer here. So multiplying by hand, you need to make sure you know how to do this. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to make out a really big answer and then simplify them. This is a 2 by 2 times a 2 by 2, so my answer is going to be a 2 by 2. So row 1 is a 3 times something plus negative 1 times something. These somethings come from column 1, which is 2 and 5. Row 1 times column 2, row 1, column 2, so 3 times something plus negative 1 times something. This would be 5 and 1. doing the same thing again. 2, -2, column 1, which is 2 and 5. Then 2, -2 again, column 2, which is 5 and 1. So if you find a method that works for you, I have found using rows, and then my column numbers are the same. Rows go across the same. Multiply this out. So 6 plus a -5 is 1. 15 plus a -1 is 14. 4 plus a -10 is -6. 10 plus a -2 is an 8. This is a 2 by 1 times a 1 by 2. This is a 2 by 1 times a 1 by 2. So I can do it. I'm going to get an answer of a 2 by 2. So -4 times -3. -4 times 1. Row 1, column 1. Row 1, column 2. Row 2. 7 times -3. And then 7 times 1. So when I do this, I should get 12, -4, -21, and 7.